Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm the OPJellicent and we are team building for week number 11 in the GBA D League. This is actually our final match, so this will be our last team builder for the season. We're battling against Melontoshington and its Exeter Chief Electivires, who have a really threatening roster. You can go ahead and view that over on the right of your screen. This is also our last chance to get a win, so hopefully we can go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to stress over it, of course. Melon's actually locked into playoffs too. I believe he's 6-4 going into this match, so I don't think we have a chance of eliminating him, but I'll have to double check on that. But either way, I'm going to try as I usually do, and yeah, we'll go through Melon's roster, then you can view my 6 Pokemon at the top of your screen. We'll go through those by one, and let's go ahead and get started. So first one Melon has right here is the Zygarde 50, which can run a number of different sets against me. I think Choice Band is very likely, pretty much Choice Band. I have no switch-ins for it. Actually, 2-hit KOs Fizdef, Florges, without Stealth Rocks, which is really crazy, so Florges is not a switch-in. Another set I could potentially see is like a Dragon Dance set with Steelium Z, just to brick Florges pretty easily that way, so I could definitely see that. I do have quite a bit of prep for Zygarde 50 this week though, between a number of Scarfers that can outspeed it and maybe some Resist Berries, so I'll go over that when I go over my team. But then he also has the Mew right here, which can also run a number of different sets. One set that I'm really hoping he does not bring is Calm Mind Iron Defense with like a Psychic Attack and Recovery. I have to check whether it gets stored power, but that set could definitely be a very big problem, like Calm Mind, Iron Defense, or Roost Psyshock. He could also run like a Double Dance set. It's not a Z-move user though, so that set's not as threatening to me. And overall, I think we can deal with Mew with the team that I have built. Then he has the Cobalion right here, which really a reliable Stealth Rocker, does get access to Momentum and Volt Switch. We do have a number of Pokemon that can outspeed that and threaten it though. Stuff like Latias, Scarflandoi potentially, as well as my Crobat, all do really well against Cobalion, which is really nice. So definitely, we can keep that thing in check, just gotta prevent it from doing what it needs to, like getting up rocks and Volt Switching out. And then he has the Rotom Wash right here, which Rotom Wash is probably the biggest thing that's stopping my Mega Pinsir from sweeping this week. Swords Dance Mega Pinsir does a ton of work, excluding that thing, but we have great Rotom Wash responses in between, like Latias, Florges, and several other Pokemon on our team. If he's expecting Xurkitree, that could kind of handle it to some extent too, so I think he may run defensive to help out with Mega Pinsir, but he could also run like Scarf, just to help out with momentum purposes, can outspeed stuff like Crobat, as well as get Xurkitree no matter what. So if I run like a Z-Hypnosis Xurkitree, if he has enough speed investment, he'll definitely be able to take advantage of that. So I could see Scarf, but defense is also a thing. He has the Snorlax right here, which I hate facing Curselax, like either set, the Curse Rest set or the Curse Recycle set, are definitely just very annoying. If he had to bring one of the two, I would expect the Curse Rest set on his part, just because I feel like he needs that reliable recovery consistently, and I feel like the Berry may not give him as much health as he wants to, just because I hit so hard with stuff like Mega Pinsir, and even Crobat, like Banded Crobat does a lot to that, so I feel like he'll go with the Rest set right there, but we definitely have prep for Curselax right there. Then he has the Piloswine, which is another Stealth Rocker, I believe. One of two, maybe? No, he has Mew to get up rocks too. So Mew, Cobalion, and Piloswine, it looks like. I might be missing something. I don't think so, though. But yeah, Piloswine can run Ice Shard Pressure for Latias and Mega Pinsir, as well as Crobat too. Can definitely be just a general annoyance. Very weak to Manaphy, though, so I can definitely take advantage of that. Landorus side does get access to Grass Knot, of course, too. So I like all those options, but really, I know what Piloswine's going to do. It's just going to be bulky and hit rather hard, so you just got to be wary of that. He has the Ribombee right here, which I believe he picked up in free agency, or maybe a trade, but Ribombee just gets up webs, can run a Quiver Dance set. The Quiver Dance set's actually kind of threatening, because I'm not running a Scarf Crobat or a Selgor, and it can carry something like Psychic to hit my Crobat pretty hard, and other than that, I'm just kind of blown back by Moonblast, but I don't think he'll bring it just because it has really no reliable way of breaking through Registeel, and Registeel is definitely a mon that he struggles with quite a lot this week, so if he does bring Ribombee, I think it'll be mainly there for the Sticky Webs, but I could see him bringing like a Quiver Dance 2 attacks variant too with Sticky Webs, could definitely be a thing. Then he has the Gengar right here, which is not a Z-move user, which is good for me, but still definitely a good, very big threat to my team. I don't have a good Ghost Resist besides my Pyroar, which is immune, but obviously he can just run Focus Blast and blow through my Pyroar effectively. Now, I do have quite a bit of prep for Gengar. We do have our Latias, of course, which can take hits naturally, unless it is choice specs, and other than that, quick attack pressure for Mega Pinsir, man, if he takes a hit, Registeel can definitely deal with that thing, unless it's like a Life Orb Focus Blast, and I switch in, he goes for Shadow Ball and hits the Focus Blast. I feel like he might need a Spidaf drop too, but yeah, other than that, Gengar is a problem, but nothing that our team can't handle. Then he has the Spiritomb right here, which is a really annoying Pokemon, because you'll see that I'm bringing a more set-up Lottie this week, and Spiritomb is definitely something that can pretty much shut that down, so I had to kind of alter my Lottie prep just to deal with Spiritomb, but Spiritomb pretty much what it generally does is run Sucker Punch, Pursuit, Trap stuff, so it could definitely be a little bit of an annoyance, but we have lots of ways to wall break that, so I'm not too worried. I believe it gets Will-O-Wisp too. Then he has the Victory Bell right here, which I think it was Greg had a ton of trouble with, like, Strength Sap Victory Bell. Somebody had a trouble with that set, so definitely you have to have reliable ways to OHKO Victory Bell, or else it's just going to blow through your team. So kind of have to be wary of that, but Latias blows it back, Mega Pinsir blows it back, Crobat blows it back, so we have tons of checks to that thing, so I'm not too worried. Then finally the Mega Charizard Y, which thankfully we have one of the best Mega Charizard Y responses in Latias. Now, I could see him running some sort of Dragon Dance set with the Dragon Claw. Like, Adamant +1 Dragon Claw is a roll to kill after rocks, so I could definitely see him going that route. And after he gets to +1, it's definitely a very big threat to my team, so that could definitely be a problem right there, but we have good checks with Manaphy. Mega Pinsir definitely OHKOs that thing if it has no bulk, which I don't think it'll be have running any bulk this week because it has to speed time Manaphy, of course, and that's going to be Melon's roster, and let's go ahead and get into my 6 Pokemon. Okay, first mon we have right here is Assess the Threat, our Mega Pinsir. One of our 2 win cons this week, but it can also just be a really nice hole puncher throughout his entire team. I realized that he's very weak to flying spam, so you'll see that my first 2 Pokemon here try to take advantage of that very well. Besides the Rotom Wash, obviously, everything else gets blown back. I feel like you might run a Super Berry Rotom Wash and try to switch that into Mega Pinsir, so that's why I'm running a knockoff right here. I don't want to knock him into range of that berry and then have him get all that health back. That would definitely be very frustrating in terms of trying to knock that out and trying to do some work with my flying types right here. So I figured if I could knock that off early, that would be great, but other than that, very self-explanatory. Enough speed right here to make sure that I outspeed the Mew no matter what, as well as the Mega Charizard Y, since I feel like those will go max speed to try to help out with my Manaphy speed tier. And other than that, just Swords Dance, Return, Quick Attack, very basic stuff. Quick Attack actually does knock out Gengar at +2, so we don't need any prior damage on that thing, which can be definitely very good for me right now. And we just have the rest in HP right here, which coincidentally, the 36 in HP actually allows me to live in Ancient Power from Mew. I completely did not have that planned, but Max Special Attack Ancient Power, I believe we have a chance to live with that 36, so that's very cool right there. And hopefully Mega Pinsir can do quite a bit of work this week. Let's go ahead and move on to our second flying type. Well, second of 3, I guess, Lander size of flying type, but it doesn't get any good coverage. But let's go ahead and move on to Crobat. Second mon we got right here is Savvy, our Crobat, which is running a pretty similar moveset to what I usually run these past few weeks, of course, running the Skyplate variant again. And Brave Bird Spam is just really great to break through his team, and we can get U-turn momentum on the Rotom Wash, of course. Toxic is just there to wear down stuff like walls, just like Mew if I decide that he's going to try to sit up on me. Like I said, that set with the Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Recovery move, and then a Psychic Attack is really threatening to my team. And Toxic is just a way to shut that down, which can be very good for me. I'm thinking about replacing Roost with Defog, but I feel like the Recovery might be better. Defog obviously for Webs. I'm not bringing any Defogger despite the fact that I have 3 potential mons that can run Defog this week, so Webs could definitely be a problem, but like, so much of my team is immune to them, and the only thing that really cares about them is a Manaphy, so that can definitely be a little bit of an issue, but I don't feel like I need to run Defog this week. Toxic can't also miss, which is really great, and pretty much the same idea as Mega Pinsir right here, except without the setup aspect, and better speed tier right here too, which is very good. Our speed tier is for the Ribombee, so if he does bring that, I can lead this 2-hit KO him with Brave Bird and whatnot, and that can definitely be very good right now. So that's our Crobat right here. Let's go ahead and move on to our Latias. Okay, third mon we got right here is the regular Eon, our Latias, which is running a pretty offensive set. It's our secondary win condition right here, with Psyshock, Dragon Pulse, Calm Mind, and Roost, with the leftovers, of course, Max Speed Timid, just to make sure that we can speed tie with the Gengar, of course. I feel like Scarf Gengar is very likely, but if he goes Scarf Rotom Wash, he may actually go Specs Gengar, and the only way we can actually OHKO Lottie here in one hit is with Specs, and we always OHKO him back with Psyshock, which is very good for us. And other than that, I just really like this thing's matchup. We're able to outpace stuff like a Zygarde 50% and check that. The only big checks to us are like potential Cobalion if it sets up, or the Ribombee. Everything else pretty much just gets blown away. I guess Piloswine can take a few hits and fire off some Icicle Crashes, which could definitely be very threatening too. We do have 84 investment into our HP stat right there, as you can see, which enables me to basically take a Jolly Dragon Dance Mega Charizard Wise Dragon Claw after one of the Dragon Dances, which is very good for me. So I really like that idea. And then of course we're running Psyshock over Psychic, just for the Snorlax, of course. I was thinking about making Dragon Pulse Shadow Ball just for Spiritomb, but I figured if Spiritomb comes and it's AV, I'm not going to be doing too much damage to that anyway, so I would have to probably get rid of that thing before doing a ton of work with Latias here. But that's going to be this thing. Hopefully it can do a lot of work, and let's go ahead and move on to the second half of our team. Right, moving on to the second half right here, our fourth mon is Keeper, our Registeel, which is running a Shuka counter set, and it's kind of an ongoing meme for me to be running Resist Berry with counter, because I used to do that a lot in the early season and it never worked out, but I pretty much wanted this to be like a Zygarde 50% lure, which could be very good for me. It can also definitely take like an Earthquake from physical Zardois if he doesn't want to take like Flare Blitz recoil, and knock that out too, which is good. And with our 100 defense investment and max HP, we actually take a +1 Mega Charizard Wise Flare Blitz in the sun, which is very good. Obviously, this is only if he brings physical Zardois with Dragon Dance, but it's mainly here to lure that Zygarde, of course, into a false sense of security. If he tries to attack me, that's fine. Now, granted, we are kind of setup fodder for a substitute variant, so if he goes for like a sub and starts going for Dragon Dances and Coils, it could get really bad really fast, but we do have Toxic in case he's not sub, and we have dedicated Zygarde responses on our team. Just in case it is a setup variant, we have stuff that can outspeed that, which is very good for us, but obviously Shuka counter is the main thing here. It's also our Stealth Rocker, so hopefully the rocks can be very useful. You can obviously defog with the Rotom Wash. His hazard control consists of, I believe, Defog Mew, Defog Rotom, and maybe Defog Charizard Y. I'm not sure whether that gets hazard control or not. I'll go ahead and double check that. But yeah, that's going to be our Registeel right here. Earthquake, of course, for just hits very nicely across his entire team. Like, it hits the Cobalion and the Gengar very well, so I liked that, and let's go ahead and move on to our Landorus Eye. Alright, second to last mon we have right here is Orion, our Landorus Incarnate, which is running a 4 attacks Choice Scarf variant. Really good check to Zygarde 50 after the Dragon Dance, because we do have Scarf HP Ice, of course. Even with our very minimal special attack investment, we have an attack on every Pokemon on this team that puts that thing in range of my Scarf HP Ice, except for my Registeel. So I just gotta make sure that Registeel isn't in. And we do have Pokemon that can naturally take a hit too, such as my Manaphy, as long as it's not like a +1 Dragonium Z. So we can definitely like switch into this thing, hit it with an HP Ice as he tries to set up, and then we definitely live anything, and if he goes for the Z move, Manaphy will live the hit, which could be very good for us. And we're still going with Max Speed Jolly, even though we are Choice Scarf, because I do want to be wary of knockoff users. He does have several base 100s, and he could run something like offensive knockoff Mew, and if that happens, then he could outpace me if I wasn't Jolly and go for like Ice Beam. So I just like the Max Speed Jolly right here, even though we are running Scarf. And then obviously 4 in HP, just to make sure that we can odd out that HP stat, and 4 in special attack, which is just pretty much there because I couldn't invest it anywhere else. And yeah, hopefully the Scarf HPS can check that Zygarde, but other than that, U-turn momentum into our flying spam mon, such as Mega Pinsir and Crobat, could be very helpful for us. So I like the whole idea here. We can even try to clean with the Scarf EQ after the Mega Charizard Y and the Rotom Wash are eliminated, of course, because of the Gengar. Probably it's not going to run Scarf, I would imagine it's Scarf Rotom. He could go double Scarf, but Gengar does not have Levitate anymore, so that's good for us. And let's go ahead and move on to our final Pokemon. And our final Pokemon right here is Seal, our Manaphy, which is running a Tail Glow Sweeper set with 3 attacks, Surf, Energy Ball, and Hidden Power Rock with the leftovers, of course. We can naturally take any sort of Zygarde 50% Z move if it's not at +1, which could be very good for us, and we do obviously outspeed that. The reason I've kind of invested that 4 into HP right there, well, I guess I had no other option, but the 4 in HP actually allows me to guaranteed live that. It's like 99.9 versus 100, which is very funny, but we're also running the Hidden Power Rock, which it's pretty much there for Mega Charizard Y, of course, because he might switch that in, and with a little bit of investment, which I'm sure Melontosh will recognize, he could actually live a +3 Surf in the sun, so we can bring in this Manaphy, Tail Glow as he brings in that Zardois, expecting to live and Okomi back with Solar Beam, but will I be able to outspeed and Hidden Power Rock that thing? And even if we don't outspeed, it'll be unfortunate, but I'm willing to go for the speed tie right there. And if we do outspeed and knock him out with HP Rock, he has nothing that can come in and revenge kill me after, unless he brings Victory Bell, which I'm really not expecting with the Flying Spam plus Latias right here. And yeah, Energy Ball is obviously there for the Rotom Wash. No, Ice Beam can definitely be scary, but unless he's Bulky Coil Zygarde, plus 3 Surfs can knock that out anyway. And that's going to be our team. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, of course. Last match of the season, do you think we're going to win? And yeah, be sure to go ahead and tune into the match tomorrow at noon Eastern time, of course. And shout out to you if you've been watching all the team builders. I know this is not my most viewed content, but definitely appreciate if you make it through all of these. So yeah, that's going to be the last team builder for the GBA D League. Hope we all tune into the match tomorrow, as I said. And I'll see you then. Later.